Today our message is titled Sing a New Song, which I found to be completely appropriate for what we have going on in the church today. With, goodness, four people coming to us as a congregation. That's a beautiful thing, and we shouldn't forget it. And today, for the confirmation children, it's a little bit like graduation day. Except that you're really not done with your schooling as Christians. And if you ask anybody who, even the oldest of Christians in this church, if they stopped learning how to be a Christian, they will tell you no, that they're still learning. So, there's this song by Leanne Womack. Has anybody heard of it? Have anybody heard of I Hope You Dance? Everybody, okay, it's been on this radio. Y'all heard this one? And here are some of the lyrics. I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. You get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. And the song that we heard a little minute ago is a little bit like that song. The author wants us to sing instead of dance. And I hope you do. I want you to sing a new song. And I hope that you sing. And I don't mean that I just want you to sing loudly in church. I want you to feel it all the way from the bottom of your heart. You see, you can't sing in a cold and unemotional way. When you sing, you have to feel it if you're really going to sing. And it's a passion. When you sing with all of you, it's a passion that's born from the bottom of your heart. It's born from emotion, and it's born from faith, and it's a sense of God. And a sense of wonder that really lets you belt it out. Have you ever sung a love song when you're really in love and you know you meant it? And the second thing I want you to do is I don't just want you to sing, but I want you to sing a new song. You see, the faith that you develop is not the faith of your mother or your father or your aunt or your uncle. It is your faith. How can it be the faith of those who came before you? How can your faith be somebody else's faith? It doesn't work like that. How can I say to my brother about my dad that his relationship to my dad is the same as me? It's not. We have the same dad. But it's not his relationship to God. It's my relationship to God. It's not my dad's relationship to God. It's my relationship to God. And it's not my grandfather's relationship to God. It's my relationship to God. It's your relationship to God. It's your relationship that I want you to sing about. It's a very scary statement, and I want to clarify it a little bit more. It does not mean that you have to reinvent Christianity. I don't want you to do that. It does not mean that you're on your own. The whole church answered us at your baptism. Isn't that right, church?
Amen.
You need to develop and nurture and harbor your own relationship to God. You need to sing your own song. You need to sing a new song. And you need to delve into your faith. You find the depth of it. Learn about it. Go caving. Go spelunking. That's the technical term for caving. Learn about your own relationship to God because you are the source of that relationship. God is waiting for you. He's waiting for you to say, yeah, let's talk. And eventually, it will be you that guides the church. You scared of that yet? Have they told you you're full members yet? You are. You're full members of the church. It's your song, your faith, your tune, your melody. It's not anybody else's. Only you can sing this song. It isn't going to be easy. You aren't coming into a faith that's a domination of North America like it used to be. In fact, our faith has recently lost its monopoly within the last few years, if you think about it. And in a lot of ways, it's a faith that's rediscovering itself. A faith that has competition now. And so it must know, absolutely, without a doubt, what it means to be Christian. So where is this competition coming from? Is it coming from the Buddhist temple down the street? No. They're not in competition with us. Is it coming from the Islamic side of the planet? Well, certainly not, because they're not here in this congregation, are they? And they're not here. But even then, they're really not in competition with us. Who's in competition with Christianity? Well, 60% of Americans, when they did a recent study, was it 60%? I think it's something like that. It's a tremendous number of people. And I learned this recently at an annual conference, are in fact actually moralistic therapeutic deists. That's the real competition in the church. A moralistic therapeutic deist is somebody who believes that everybody should be good to each other. That's the moralistic. There's the therapeutic part, which means that God is there for you to be your therapist. Right? He's there when you're in tough times. And the deist part is when God just is supposed to leave you alone after that. Unless you're in trouble, or unless you need something, don't bother calling on God. Don't invite him to dinner. Don't talk to him while you're driving. Moralistic therapeutic deism. MTDs, I think is a good short. There's no real name for this. I mean, all the really cool heresies back in the old days, they had really cool names like Arianism and modalism and all kinds of isms, but now we got an MTD. And you see the problem with moralistic therapeutic deism. Can anybody tell me what it is? It's not about God. It's about the church. No, it's not about the church either. What's it about? What? Yourself. That's exactly right. There's no God in me at that point. All you're really asking for is Casper the Friendly Ghost to show up. Lord, give me a good parking spot. I haven't talked to you in a couple of months, but I need a good parking spot right now. See, we aren't in competition with those other faiths. We're actually in competition with this concept that we don't need God. That God is not actually involved in our lives. See, that's all right too. I want to say this, that the church that's filled with the moralistic, therapeutic deists will soon die out because nobody actually really wants to believe in a God or has evidence for a God or even get together in a church when there is no church to go to. But we are still dealing with them because they are still in our churches in North America. But why do we care about this? Why do we want to even be Christian? What's important about this? Well, I'm here to tell you that our Christianity is epic. If it's not about ourselves, it's an epic thing that's going on. That starts with us? No. It starts with Christ and is transmitted down for 2,000 years in the healing and the growing of people since the very first day that Christ said, "Come and be fishers of men, and I will teach you to be fishers of men." It's not something small. You're participating in the healing of the world. It's giving sight to the blind. It's healing the lame and the sick. It's caring for those in need, and it's the healing of the world. And it's the things that you do in the name of God that will last for generations. What you do in the name of God, if you feed a child, when he grows up, he will feed his children and their children. You have affected 3 generations. If you heal a man and allow him to return to work, you have affected his children and his children's children. 3 generations. Christianity can be called nothing less than epic. Radical hospitality is something else that we need to come to terms with. Things that the moralistic therapeutic deists will do, they'll just, kind of do them, right? Because, it's good to be good to people, isn't it? But you'll not just do them, you'll do them in the name of God. You're not just going to walk a mile for somebody to make sure that they're fed. You'll walk 10. And their whole life will be changed for it. And in the name of God, you'll do these things. But God will not let you stand alone. God will be at your side. And the most important thing about this is that most people don't get, and it's certainly a moralistic therapeutic deist doesn't understand, is that you have a role to play. Every single person sitting here in this church has a role to play in their church. And between yourself and God, you will work this out in a way that is beautiful and astounding, as long as you keep your eyes on the road. And I'm not talking a little beautiful and a little astounding. I'm talking major league stuff when you set your heart in it. When you delve the depths of your heart and you find that God is sitting there waiting for you, smiling and inviting you back to prayer each day, that's when you see things start happening, like 250 people fed each month out of a church just because a young girl started a food pantry. Or children's graduation rates in high school climbing because one young lady started a tutoring class. This is amazing, epic stuff. And this is the kind of stuff that the church does. And it's going to change lives. But again, we have to go back and we have to ask ourselves, what's the difference between our Christianity and moralistic therapeutic deism? Where we talk only about ourselves and we think only about ourselves instead of thinking about what God has to say to us and what God's mission for us is. When these guys start to do stuff, they go, what's in it for me? What am I going to get out of it? And when am I going to get to go home? And when Christians do it, they go, what's in it for you? What are you going to get out of it? How is the church going to be glorified? What is God going to get out of it? This is a major deal. This is the stuff that changes the world on an epic level. And when you feel that in your heart, I hope you sing as loud as the loudest bird. I want you to plumb the depths of your spirituality. Sing out in the Spirit. Sing out in the Spirit with your brothers and sisters and change the world. Will you all please join me in our affirmation of faith?